disassemble both sail drives, inspect the bearings. So there's a little bit of play in the shaft. I don't know if that's normal or not. Probably not.
No,
Thought the seals were bad, but it looks like when I drain the oil, I guess it's misleading because when you look in the top of the oil reservoir for the sail drive, it looked like it was emulsified with water, but then when I drained it, it looked good. So it might just be a little bit of seawater that, you know, might have been in there from the last time, worked its way to the top. So maybe my seals are still good.
But we ordered more seals?
I did. They're good to have.
Yeah. So those are zincs?
Those are the zincs.
And we have to coat the props. We didn't do that last time we were here.
We put the props on 5 minutes before the boat was in the water.
Sure did. Gross.
Because that's the other thing we're doing is we're putting the flaps on here
Oh yeah.
to cover that. I'm hoping, I didn't really care because the things fall off and a lot of people don't put them on from what I understand, but I'm having problems with these props because we have the feathering props. They would start to like oscillate, I guess is the proper term. They'd start to bounce back and forth, and I'm thinking that maybe it's from turbulence, from water going over that.
It's a good guess.
That's a hope and a dream, I guess, but yeah, that's like what you want your oil to look like coming out of the sail drive. I thought it was going to come out creamy nastiness. It actually looks pretty good.
That's good. Oh, wow, you're actually picking up the camera. That's crazy. I'm sure I look like a
Crystal's destroying the reef.
I'm a reef killer. Only if it's in my boat. Look at all this yummy crustacean.
Oh, yummy.
Yeah. A little baby crab came out. I had to save him. Yummy. So you're prepping the tool, our wine bottle.
Yeah, it was covered in 5200 from the last one.
Gotta improvise.
I think I would have used this if I had all kinds of options available to me. It's pretty ideal, actually.
It's like the sailor
This is
way.
like your handle, and then you can roll it from. Yeah, it's perfect. It really is perfect. I was thinking about it last night. I'm like, what can I use to roll this thing out?
One man's trash is another man's tool. Our trash is our tool.
Yeah, it's our trash.
Leopard 46 has 4JH 4AE Yanmars coupled to SD50 sail drives, and the output side of the engine has an oil seal that was leaking. It wasn't like a major leak, it wasn't really anything to stress about, quite honestly, but nobody wants oil in their bilge, right? So I decided I'd handle it before it got any worse. So I ordered the oil seals, and after splitting the engine from the transmission or the sail drive, and taking everything apart, I actually found, interestingly, that it wasn't the oil seal that was leaking. It was actually a liquid gasket, a manufacturer liquid gasket. I could tell it hadn't been touched. This was the first time anybody got into this part of the motor on my boat. But it was, you could just tell by tracing the oil, you could see that it was pushing past this liquid gasket, and it was a flange that held the oil seal. So there's the output shaft of the motor goes through a flange, and that flange holds the oil seal. So after I went ahead and replaced the oil seal anyway because I had them on hand. So we replaced the oil seal and also just redid the liquid gasket because that made sense. It was necessary. Yeah, so as you do on sailboats, you find a way. And in order to lift the motor, we just used our halyard. It made sense, and so just hooked the halyard up to the top of the motor. It has a loop on there just for that specific reason. I don't know if they really intend for you to use your halyard, but yeah, why not? So we used the halyard, and with that I was able to lift the motor enough that I could pull it off the engine mounts and slide it back. I had just enough space between the rudder post, which sits on the back side of the engine, because actually the front side of the engine, everything is reversed in our engine room because the sail drive sits forward of the engine. But yeah, it worked really well. Turned out well, and no oil leak now. Other mysteries.
What happened?
Turns out the washers were supposed to be where they were.
So now we gotta pull
Where
the
are
engine
they?
out all over again.
You're joking, right?
No, not really.